everyone, it's me. I want to talk about the recent surgery I had because I had a condition called, and I'm going to read it off this page, de Quervains Tenosynovitis. De Quervains is spelled D-E, and the second word is Quervains, de Quervains, as tenosynovitis. So what had happened was here on my wrist, you see this, I got cut open there on my wrist. What had happened is I've been a crocheter and all that my entire life, and I wasn't heavy into it my entire life, but I did it when I was a little girl and I could never get my scarf straight. So I decided to, stop crocheting and got back into it when I was at the VA. I took a knitting class and I learned how to knit, and I started knitting like crazy for my PTSD and stress and anxiety, and I really helped. And then I got into buying yarn, and I have a ton of yarn, but I was using my wrist. I was crocheting every night, and I thought, well, no big deal. And then one day I see a lump on my wrist that looked like a little pea. And I thought, well, that's weird. And I had had cysts removed in the past. So I said, well, I don't think it's a cyst because it's really hard. And I thought, well, this is just the way it is. And then I decided to get it checked because I thought, well, it's on my wrist. It's in a really odd place. And I thought maybe the doctor could just, if it was a cyst, he could just drain it. But I went in, had an MRI, and they said, well, it's pretty hard, and it's on the tendons that run alongside your thumb here. And I said, well, that's, these tendons here. And I said, well, that's weird. And so after the MRI, they said, well, we'll just watch it. And the doctor kind of gave me an injection to get rid of the pain because I was now experiencing pain, and it was going up my arm and around my wrist. And it got to the point where I could not take a cap off of a water bottle with my right hand. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I said, well, I would like to have this removed. And so it was not a very evasive surgery, according to, regarding my experience regarding surgery. It's going to be really invasive, and I am highly allergic to being put under in general. So they decided to use a different form of med to kind of just put me to sleep, which kept me asleep during the surgery. And then they numbed it like crazy. And so I was out, but I was only asleep during the surgery. I was not completely put under, thank God. Came out of the surgery within a half an hour. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And then they put it in a cast. They had I couldn't use my thumb. So I thought, well, okay, whatever. So for 2 weeks, I couldn't use my right hand. I thought, well, whatever, that's just the way it is. And I made do. I learned how to use my left hand and all that fun stuff. And I just recently had my cast off a week ago, and the doctor said I was going to be feeling numbness in here. So I do. I feel it. It's numb in this area, and it gets inflamed a little bit if I do too much, which I normally do anyways. But there's numbness in my hand here in this padded area, and it's sore, and it's getting back to normal. But at least now I can open a bottle and use my hand to clean and take a shower and wash my hair. So that's all I wanted to talk about, was that I had the surgery. The doctor said don't look at the procedure on YouTube before you go in because it can be a little frightening or overwhelming, but it's a thickening of the tendons. And then of course I had the cyst on top of that. So they have to go clean it up, but I have full use of my thumb. Granted, it's numb in this area, also around the scarring, just above the scarring and into my hand right here. So that's all I wanted to talk about, is I had to do it. I will not resume crocheting and knitting for a while simply because I don't want to re-injure or have another issue with my wrist. I'll simply go on and I'll do other types of creative. I'll work with wood, or I'll paint, or I'll do something else, but I'm not going to do anything where it's a consistent repetition with my wrist anymore. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope everyone's having a good day, and we will talk with you soon. Bye bye.